Happy Monday.
It's turn up, I guess.
Dang, I was going to say, that got real awkward real fast. Happy Monday, y'all.
Because so our show comes out on Monday, so that's why she says
damn,
like that.
I fucked that all up.
You good.
It's all
Okay,
good.
my bad.
It's cool. You good. It's all good. It ain't no wrong answers. But just so y'all know, if y'all didn't know that we do not actually record usually on Mondays.
That makes sense.
Absolutely not. Can you imagine all that work? Like,
Nah, that's a lot. No.
yeah, we're trying to get ahead on this thing.
That makes sense.
We have another amazing guest today.
How
we're
you know?
super excited about. What? Because I trust your judgment.
Oh,
You got
okay.
all these questions.
She felt the vibe in the last
Exactly.
10 minutes, you know what I'm saying?
Does she feel it? That's funny. Yes, we have an amazing guest, JoJo. I'm just giving
Told
Carlie
y'all.
a hard time.
I told y'all.
We got JoJo in the building today.
Yes.
What up?
We gonna make sure she autographs something before she leaves.
Hey.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about that.
I charge for those.
But we just, she's somebody that I met when after I moved into LA. I'm sure everybody I met here for the most part is like through Damo somehow.
Shout out
but
to
it's
Damo.
like not, Damo's not like the closest.
D. Jones.
Yeah, he's not like the closest friend between us because I think like he's really cool. Like Shonda, and then like y'all are cool, and I know you spent some time in Georgia while they were there in grad school as well.
Georgia?
So yeah, definitely one of the funniest, coolest people that I've met since I've been in LA too. I was telling Carlie earlier, it's funny how I'll be like cracking up with you. Like we just be walking and talking, and next thing I know, I'll be like, oh yeah, you are a comedian. Like, I be forgetting. I'll be like, yo, I am dying over here.
I always
that,
wonder. I'm like, are comedians funny in real life?
Because well, I think that's means you're a good comedian if it's just like you're not trying
Natural,
to be funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's weird though. As a comedian, sometimes people expect for you to
Right.
always be on, and I'm
Always
like,
perform.
I'm chilling. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I'm having a serious ass conversation with you right now. So
But then
it's
also
chill.
your style on stage is kind of like you keep it chill, and I guess that kind of keeps you from having to. If you start out doing too much, then you're just gonna get stuck. So
exactly, yeah.
So I'll let you actually tell your story, but just to introduce you, you know, she moved out here. She was like hustling. We had some time. We used to go to the gym. She helped me get my abs together for like a month. And she's just fun to hang out with. And, you know, her with the crew, they worked on No More Comics in LA, which we'll touch on, which is a web series that she's the star of that we repping today with the gear. And, you know, from that, she got another big opportunity. So we just want to kind of go through what that looked like for you. Because there's a lot of like hard work. And I'm sure like a lot of days where you're like, damn, I don't even know about this. Which is a lot of people's LA stories. So just what brought you to LA in the first place?
Yeah. So yeah, like you were saying, I lived in Georgia for a little while, and that's where I met Damo. And I moved there with Rashonda because they were all in grad school at SCAD. And I moved to Georgia to pursue acting. I was like working this job. I was, you know, doing pretty good straight out of college. Had, you know, making pretty good money. Bought me a little Mercedes. I thought I was shit.
Hey,
You
you
were
were
shining.
shining.
You couldn't tell me shit. But then I was like, I hate this shit though. I hate this job. I hate this desk.
What were you doing?
I hate this computer. I was, I hated it all. I was working at a university in DC, doing enrollment, like enrolling students into college.
That's funny because that's what I did right after undergrad.
Really?
I just stayed at my school and like I worked at admissions, and I was like,
Admissions.
my work took like 20 minutes. I'm like, yo, this is stupid.
It was stupid.
It was
so
stupid.
stupid. It was so stupid. I was literally.
I mean, these kids got to get in school, but at the same time, you be like, yo, is this really? Like, it was one of those jobs where as soon as you get off, you literally have nothing else to think about. So, like, I would go out every night. Like, that was like
Happy
worse
hours
nights than when I was in school because it's like, this job takes no effort.
But you have money now to turn up because you're not in school no more.
Look.
You know what's so crazy? At that time of my life, I went through a period where I was like drinking a lot, and I had to catch myself and be like, "Wait a minute, bitch!" You know what I'm saying?
I came into work with shades on in the morning, like,
and I was not a drinker in college, so I was just like, "Am I unhappy? What the hell is going on?" You know what I'm saying? But in my mind, I would be like, oh, I'm gonna take a little drink to go to sleep good. You know what I'm saying? So I they're like, bitch, you done drink every night for 2 weeks.
That's how it be though. Every once in a while, like if you're in the whatever, you do it a few times and you're like, wait, do I need this? Or like, do I just enjoy this?
Exactly.
And you're gonna tell yourself whatever you want to hear. So
exactly.
That
So
part.
I realized, you know, something was off and I was unhappy. And Rashonda kept hitting me up. That's my best friend. Being like, we doing big things down here. Big shit popping. It's a movement. You got to come through. I know people. Hell yeah. And I get down there.
Why she sold you a dream?
She sold me a whole dream. She was like, you come down here
Artie just didn't want to be by herself.
Things was popping in Savannah.
In Savannah.
Dog, my best friend went to SCAD too. And like, I mean, Savannah's cool, but not consistently. It's beautiful and like for weekends and things, but consistently popping.
That river don't smell
know about
that.
No, but they have an open container law, so you can get turned up and walk out the club and walk around turned up down the street.
Right there by the river. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Nice. It's beautiful. It's a great, city. And I got what I went there for, and more, you know what I'm saying? Because it was the first time in my life I had to be humble to take on a job that I never knew I would take on. So basically, I went to my manager at the job, the admissions job I was working at. I was mad cool with everybody that worked there because, like you said, your job only take about 20 minutes, so the rest of the time you socialize and shit. So I'm cool with the HR lady. I'm cool with my manager. I'm cool with my colleagues, everybody. So I told him straight up one day, like literally, I saw a meme on Instagram that said, this is a true story. This is a true story.
So memes really do be changing people's lives.
They do. Keep making them. Whoever makes them, keep making them.
I hope it wasn't a Hotep one.
Dead ass serious. It was a Friday at like 2:00, and my homie Chica was coming into town, so we was going to turn up that weekend. I just got paid. It was just a great day. And I saw this meme, and it was just a picture of a bunch of cubicles, and it said Graveyard for a Dreamer. And I was like, oh shit. And I literally started having like a low-key panic attack because I was sitting in the fucking cubicle, and I like looked around, and I was like, oh shit, like, am I in the grave? Right.
This ain't it.
This ain't it. So I went and walked to his office, and I was like, hey, Dean, can I talk to you real quick? And he was like, oh, 1 second, I'm on the phone. I was like, all right. So I walked off, and I was like, bitch, what the fuck was you about to do? Like, what is going on right now?
You was about to act real impulsive.
Listen, so I went back
I quit.
to my desk, and I sat down, and I was like, are you really about to do that? And then he came back out and was like, Joe, I'm free. And I was like, yeah, I'm really about to do this. And I got up, and I walked back into his office, and I sat down, and I was like, I don't want to work here no more. I want to quit, but I can't just quit because I need money. Like,
so that's good that y'all must have had a good relationship to even do that.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And he told me right then that he had a sister who was an actress and that he understood that, need to pursue something that, you know what I'm saying, like he wanted to do because his sister had done that same thing and moved to LA. And he was like, look, what we're going to do, we're going to work it out for you. And basically they let me get my unemployment, even though I quit. They let me get my unemployment. Wow. And that's why I felt confident to move to Savannah. And the HR lady, she didn't contest it when I what's name? But she was mad cool. But yeah, so I moved to Savannah, and I thought unemployment was going to be a year, right? So I'm like, I'm going to give myself a year to grind, the first 6 months. I could have went harder, you know what I'm saying? I was definitely like...
Boy, that'd be the title of my book. I could have went harder.
I could have went harder than I did.
Every night.
Every damn night. I could have went harder than I did, but we was down there having a great time, and then my unemployment stopped out the blue after 6 months. Instead of
she ain't been doing no job.
I haven't been doing shit, been living on unemployment, you know what I'm saying, around college students, having a good ass time, doing student films here and there. So I'm being productive, but for the most part, I'm not making
it's like not
the
strategic.
most of my time. No, I didn't. I moved down there without a plan, just ambition.
Can I backtrack on you? Because how did you know you wanted to be an actor? Like, where did that come in?
I've always wanted to be an actress since I was a child. As a kid, I was I got 2 brothers and a stepsister.
Where you fall in the lineup?
I'm the oldest.
Oh, okay. Okay, oldest siblings over here.
But yeah, I used to be really into TV. Like I was a Disney Channel kid. Like I was always waiting for the next movie to come out each month, and always just so like into the fact that they were playing characters, and I had a vivid imagination. And in my head, oftentimes, even to this day, I'm characters.
To this day.
To this day. To this day.
I can't read those words without saying it like that. See how powerful social media is.
So you always wanted to be an actress.
Look, thank you. Bring us back in.
But I mean, social media changed our life. Like it's changed all of ours in something. But I remember, I think I actually reposted that meme of the graveyard. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I reposted it. Let me scroll back and look. But so you want to be an actress, but you ended up taking this job, and were you still working on being an actress, even thinking about it when you were working at this job before that day?
You know what? I had, it was always something that was on my mind and my heart. However, growing up in the environment that I was in, not saying that my parents weren't encouraging, and didn't, push me to be great. It was just, and I maybe mentioned it to my family, and they, based off of somebody's reaction, you can, at that time in my life, I could become insecure about things pretty easily.
For sure.
And especially not completely knowing how to give you a verbal plan of how I'm going to make this happen. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of confidence just to say something and truly believe it and not care about the little facial expressions you get or the comments.
Being steadfast in it.
Exactly. And so, I kind of, it was like growing up, I kind of just went with what I felt like would sound good out loud. And so I actually studied journalism in college because I knew I always wanted to be on TV. So I studied broadcast journalism. However,
that's a safe in between kind of.
It was like I didn't want to.
Didn't go all the way full like music theater.
Acting like, Mama, I'm about to go to theater. What you gonna do with that?
Right.
What the hell you better?
That's something that sound good, but kind of still dipping your toes in it.
And my cousin had hooked me up with a government job when I was in high school, so I had those connections. So my mom was kind of like, "You about to go to Chapel Hill? You know what I'm saying? Get you a degree, go get you a good government job. Check, like and all that." So I kind of felt at first I started off doing business, and I was like, "Bitch, you ain't no business major, bitch. This ain't
that wasn't you."
No, that business calc. Damn, I don't know if it was me. The professor was crazy too, but I could have tried again. But anyway,
I could have went harder.
That was college. Period. I could have went harder. But I went hard in a lot of ways, but
just not that way.
Not the way I should have went. But yeah, so it took me until I was like, until I had done everything that everybody asked me to do, and I realized that I still wasn't happy. And I'm the type of person that can learn from other people without having gone to go through the experience myself. And so looking at, I grew up around a lot of my great uncles and great aunts because I was raised by my great grandmother for a period in my life, and so I'm very close with them. And watching them age and watching them, like seeing my great grandmother be very vocal about her opinions, very much so. I don't give a fuck about what nobody. I mean, she was a very Christian lady. She didn't curse and all that stuff, but she just was. People respected her. You know what I'm saying? Like she had gotten to the point where she didn't care. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna be me.
Man,
you know
every year that goes by, like you care less
and less.
Exactly. And so being around someone who was already there in their life, you know what I'm saying? I kind of realized like I don't want to. Why do I gotta wait? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why do I have to? Nothing is promised. First of all, and second of all, I want it now. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to make the decisions for my life now so I don't disappoint myself later. So that's really what it was. I got to the point where I was like, okay, I went to college. I got out, got the job with the benefits, and you know what I'm saying? Like
did all the things that they tell us we supposed to do, right?
Exactly.
That look good, sound good. We think that's it.
Exactly. And growing up, I wanted a black Mercedes so bad. I wanted a Mercedes. And I get this car and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
And I feel like those are things that people always say, like who are big and successful, like you're not going to really care about this and that stuff doesn't matter. And you're like, okay, I want it.
Right.
And then you really like, damn, they was right. Like,
Right.
They knew better.
You get it.
Right. I want it a particular type of way. I do want those things. I just want to also enjoy what I'm doing to get them. You know what I'm
So
saying?
it feels like a real reward kind of.
Exactly.
It's like success versus fulfillment.
Exactly.
Really. It's like, because you can achieve all these things, but are you fulfilled in what you're doing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it seems like that's a similar theme with a lot of my friends who are transplants to LA that, oh man, I had a good job, I had a nice car. You come here and it's like, man, I gotta have 6 roommates and like, you know, we gotta have
6
20 jobs.
Right.
Yeah. So what gave you the confidence and what made you say, all right, LA next?
Yeah, after, it was you were in Savannah, right?
Yeah, so after Savannah, Rashonda went ahead and moved to LA, and she was like, just come on ahead and move. And I'm like, bitch, I done had enough. I'm done with this.
Fam, I'm good.
I need to go home, get my mind right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm broke as hell. I had taken this job at the Home Depot distribution center, so I was driving forklifts and shit. I was like, that was great. I humbled myself. I learned it. No, back in Savannah. Because I ended up having to randomly get a job. So I took a break. I took a year and moved back to Maryland, and then had to get back on the, getting a job, grind and stuff like that. And then once again, like, just seeing that shit, though that period in my life, I think, was the most transformative, because it was the first time in my life I got so much rejection, so many no's, so many things I had to overcome, so many times I had to take my feelings out of the circumstance. And I think it was transformative to me as a person to be able to push forward and overcome things. Because I moved back to Maryland and I was applying for jobs and getting to the last step and then not getting it. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Or taking the GMAT and almost getting into a graduate program and then not getting it. You know what I'm saying? Or doing everything I need to do.
All these doors closing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit ain't working. So I just randomly, I saw a T.D. Jakes sermon that said, go blind. I think it was might have been a meme, picture of him.
Meme strike again,
right? And it was like, I don't know, it struck my attention, so I YouTubed it, the sermon, and he was talking about basically walking on. You have to walk like you're walking on clouds, and that's kind of like you can't see each step in front of you, but in order to elevate, you know what I'm saying, you have to move in that way. And I was like, all right, shit, you right. And I came out to LA for the first time, and I did stand-up comedy, and on the weekend of my birthday, and it went great. It went amazing, and I fell in love with it, and it was like a endorphin type rush that I had never experienced before, and it kind of just gave me that initiative to just get out here, because I was like, I'm wasting time.
So you came out here to visit for your birthday? And were you a comedian before?
No, I had never done it.
So how did you get this? What was it? Was there a story behind this first stand-up gig, or is it just something you were like, I'm going to try?
So I had mentioned to my best friend, Rashonda, that I wanted to do it. I was like, for my birthday, I want to do an open mic.
Bold.
You know what I'm saying?
That is bold. I see you. Okay.
She was like, you should do it. And I was
Come on,
like,
Rashonda. I see best friends. Come on.
Right. So I get out here. And low-key, I'm not thinking I'm really going to do it. I'm just like, I'm going to do it, but you know what I'm saying? This ain't going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So she finds 3 places for me to go. And the first place we drive to, they don't have it anymore. They don't have that open mic anymore. The second place we went to, they were having an event at the thing. So by that time, I'm like, Rashonda, let's give up. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, we ain't got to do this. You know what I'm saying? I'm on vacation, bitch. Like, I'm getting stressed out just thinking about doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? So she's like, no. We're going to one more place. We're going to go check out that place. So we ended up going to the Comedy Store, and they had an open mic in the Belly Room, which is one of my favorite places to perform now. It was packed. There was so many people up in there. And I was just like, I know I ain't about to get this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all good. I'm going to sit here because I ain't no punk. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want, now that we have found an opportunity, I cannot back out. Yeah, and she's driven all around the fucking city to find this opportunity. I'm like, why you so pressed? Like, why you want me to
Did you
do
have
this
a
so
set
bad?
ready? You just going to go up there and
I wrote some shit, some key points, you know what I'm saying? I wrote some key points, you know what I'm saying, down. So, but I was nervous as fuck. So, but we get there, and they're like doing a bingo thing or whatever to give you, because it's people in the bucket, and they acting like they choosing. They probably might have been choosing random names, but I'm like, ain't no way I'm gonna get up there. I had Rashonda with me, her boyfriend, and I think he had 2 homies in town too. So I got 4 people playing this bingo game for me. I'm playing too, but I'm so fucking nervous that I'm not even fucking looking at the bingo card. I'm like, I just don't want to do this shit. And so Rashonda's boyfriend ends up getting bingo, and I remember all the tingles rushed through my body. He's like, nigga, bingo. And he was like, bingo, she want to do it. She want to do it. I was like, oh my God.
So you was like, yo, chill out, fam.
Right. Oh my gosh, bruh, for real. So I get up there, and I'm telling you, the place is packed. And we get on stage, and they me and this other, Quinn and some other person hit bingo. And so they're like, well, y'all got to do a joke off. I'm like, oh, no motherfucking joke.
Man, that's a lot of pressure.
One joke.
So awkward.
One-liner joke. So I was like, he did his little one-liner joke. It was corny. And then they gave me the mic, and I was like, I ain't got no one-liner, but it's my birthday. So they was like, give her the mic. Give her the mic. I was like, damn. So,
birthday trumps all of those.
Birthday trumped all of that. So they gave me the mic and I did my thing and I told them like stories from my childhood and just stories about being in LA and just it was perfect. It was perfect. It was great. Like it went great. Everybody was cracking up. It was a high I never felt before. And it was like I think that the feeling I felt before going up was so intense that it almost scared me. You know what I'm saying? From pushing forward and doing it more, but it also enticed me into doing it more. It was weird. It was like, I don't know.
It's not easy to be in front of a group of people you don't know. And it's like, I have to entertain you.
Yeah.
Nah, and it was a very diverse group. So I was just like,
like, where do I start?
But you know what, though? I was kind of like, it's my first time. I just told them that. Oh, and then I let them know it's my first time, too. I was like, it's my first time, and it's my birthday. And they were like, oh, fuck, nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, she gotta
got
go.
something.
Yeah, so, but then they genuinely were laughing. They genuinely loved me. Like, it was great. Like, I was just like, okay, you know what I'm saying? So I went home and I did it a couple more times in the D.C., Maryland area in New York. And then I was like, I just got to go back to L.A. It's time to go. It's time to head back. So I think I had like $300 in my pocket. And Rashonda, I got her a buddy pass to fly back to D.C. And we drove my car out to L.A. with like no money. And her dad, he travels a lot, so he let us use his like hotel points and stuff. Because at first I was ready to thug it out. I was like, well,
we gonna
sleep in the car.
We got a
you
car.
know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And they was like, you ain't finna have our daughter sleeping in no damn car on no motherfucking highway,
New Mexico, somewhere.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So they was like, we got y'all, and they love me too, and we, you know what I'm saying? They like second parents to me, so they got us some hotels and whatnot, yeah, we got over here, and I got a damn parking ticket the first day I was in LA. I was like,
that sounded about right.
Motherfuckers, you know, I only got like $150 left in my pocket, and y'all
that's $73.
$70, yes. It was exactly $73.
And I only say that because I've had a few. Stupid street cleaning. I don't even be doing nothing crazy. It's just street cleaning.
It was Koreatown.
Yeah, but coming from D.C. area, you already know how they be. So,
oh my goodness,
I still have ones that I think I still owe to D.C. area.
Sorry, dirty.
Y'all ain't getting that. But so then moving to LA then, were you in like, okay, I'm in a good mode, I'm gonna just go do comedy, or was it like survival mode? Or how did you get now in LA to a place where you started feeling comfortable here? And what was your goal to do in LA?
Well, you know, my goal was to expedite the process as much as possible. Like, I don't know if it's true, but I heard this rumor that Chris Tucker had moved to LA, and within 2 years, he was on Friday. And I was just like, okay, 2 years, 2 years. I'm going to give myself 2 years. And then motherfuckers was like, actually, your first 2 years will probably be the worst 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll be the hardest. And I had people telling me it's going to take you about 10 years in comedy, and I just was refusing to adhere to those standards and those, you know, your timeline.
Because they not you.
Exactly, because you're not me. Exactly. So when I first moved here, I was all about like being in the clubs, going to all the open mics, going to all, like, and then I realized, bitch, you're broke. And
it's hard to keep moving
It's
forward.
hard to, like it's hard. And so I took a acting class, like a one-offer, you know, acting class, and I was talking to the teacher afterwards, and he was telling me basically like, sometimes it's more important to stabilize yourself to make sure you can stay here than to try to be trying to like make it happen so fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
well, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? If you're worrying about being safe when you go home, if you don't have a home, if you can't eat, then how can you even do your stuff right?
Exactly. So it was like, all right, you right. If I ain't even got no money to pay my rent and be here, then I ain't gonna be able to go to
back.
Exactly. So when I moved out to LA, I had to humble myself majorly and take on jobs that I never would have thought I would have taken, or you know what I'm saying, that were literally the most survivalist type of jobs. And I ain't sucked no dick or nothing, you know what I'm saying?
But you know what I admire about you, JoJo, though, is the fact that you would have jobs like whether you're a server, but then it's like, all right, you worked like back to back or late nights, and then you could get up, still do some other stuff, but then I'm still on your Instagram seeing, and I'm also doing this show this day. So it's not like it was a complete stop, and the fact that you still did what you needed to do, because a lot of people, they either get sucked into just hustle life and they're not doing anything else. or it's just like, all right, I'm gonna go back, like you said. So I think it's interesting how you still found a way to still do everything.
Right. I during the period, it's like you said, you have to find a way to still keep yourself involved in whatever you picturing yourself doing, because when I did have to pick up more jobs and work more, maybe I can't make it out to a comedy club and do a stand-up, but maybe I'll focus on writing these scripts now, you know what I'm saying? Like, or maybe I'll focus on writing jokes or doing whatever I can do in the moment, you know what I'm saying, to keep the ball.
Stop.
The hustle don't stop.
It just adapts.
Yeah, exactly. You have to, shift it and mold it a little bit, but you do whatever you got to do to get yourself through to whatever season you in at the moment, you know what I'm saying? So... I done had jobs having to like knock on people's doors, like going out to like commute, like people neighborhoods and trying to get them to sign up for solar panels and shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Not vector knives.
You know what I'm saying? But like, and then at the end of the week, making $250 after walking in the sun. You know what I'm saying? And
did you ever Uber? That seems to be, if you're gonna do anything,
I Ubered,
the most
lifted,
lucrative at least, because it's like whenever I need to go out, I know I'm gonna make X amount, come back home.
Let me tell you, that shit is it takes a lot of commitment to do Uber and Lyft, and I ended up getting into a little accident. So my insurance was like, bitch, you ain't even supposed to be doing that shit anyway.
LA is a tough place to drive in anyway sometimes. And then it's like to go back and forth, like putting yourself at risk.
Yeah. And I heard it ain't even worth it. Like money wise.
Nah, it's not. It's unnerving to me. And honestly, that's why I got a 2-door car this time, because I was like, I don't even want to set up a situation where I could. I got a 2-door. I was like, bitch, you have to figure it out, because you ain't gonna be able to do no Uber, no Lyft, because I did it for like 4 months, and I met a lot of amazing people. And it's crazy because one of the people I met doing Uber, I met this guy who owned a company, and basically I talked him into giving me an interview to get a job at his company. And the girl that interviewed me ended up becoming a friend of mine. Her and I became cool.
That's cool.
And she is a friend of Lena Waif's, and she kind of like, told her, like, I kind of gave her that green light, like, she's cool people, So it's like,
so you can look back at how that was an important part of your journey.
Exactly.
Yeah, synchronicity. Like nothing happens on accident. That's probably the whole reason why you drove that.
Yeah.
To be real.
I mean, for that one moment, you know what I'm saying? Like, and for that friendship that I have that with that individual, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I definitely learned a while ago that nothing happens for no reason. And when you're going through struggle, I think instead of complaining, instead of, looking at what the negatives are in the situation, you should try to figure out, okay, what am I supposed to learn from this? What am I supposed to take away from it? What is the bigger picture? Because this is temporary. I know it is, you know what I'm saying? And once I figure out what I'm supposed to get from it, it will pass.
And isn't it great when you get to a point where it's almost like that time period of going through it and then getting to the point of what you just said, it gets shorter and shorter and shorter. Because I remember days when it's like you're struggling, you're just upset and blah, blah, blah. And now it's like as soon as something bad happens, I'll be like, all right, bet, what's this? And like immediately, like you just process it and it's like, cool, I got it. And now you just go into problem solving mode. But that time gets so much shorter, and that's how you really like know you're growing, I think, for sure.
And that's so beautiful, because you look at stuff that would have knocked you down for days. Like back in the day, you're like, psh, that's chump change next.
Right.
Exactly.
Which I love.
It definitely get tough in being out here as well.
So you were hustling. Go ahead, Lex. Where you going?
Well, I was going to ask, how important was your support group and your friends? Because you do know quite a few people here. Perhaps, I don't know if it was through Rashonda that you got to know the gang or whatever, and the mutual friends that we have. But how important was your support group? And let's lead that into the project that you guys started and how that started.
That is, I think, very integral and important to the journey that I've had, the support that I've had from family, in a way of like, maybe they don't understand what the hell I'm trying to do, but we support you.
Family would, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what you do, but good luck. Like,
right, I know she gonna get it done. Like, we trust that you know what I'm saying.
Know what you
gonna
do
be
anymore.
all right.
It's like with the iCloud, they don't understand it. But
Exactly,
they just
yeah. So, but it was friends. It was friends who really spoke it into me. You know what I'm saying? Because I never saw myself doing comedy. It was more like friends being like, you should try it. You should do it. Like, you're funny in a like a casual way. So maybe if you know what I'm saying, like
not funny in a casual way.
You know what I'm saying, like in a like we just talking in a group type thing, and you just say some shit
just
like
naturally
maybe
funny.
You should try to do that in a more
and for you that actually work, because there's a lot of people who are funny, but then you get on the stage and it's like. Yeah, crickets. So
I think
that's good for you that it worked out like that.
Oh yeah, no, it worked out. I think because I didn't overthink it, and I was just looking. Okay, so what do I do that y'all laugh at? I'm usually telling a story about some shit that happened. You know what I'm saying? So boom, do that. But yeah, the support system is so important, especially when you're doing comedy. Because first of all, most of the time they're going to have you do bringer shows, which means that you can't get no time unless you bring people to the show. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And so that was huge, having friends come out to support me on a consistent basis, pay for the tickets. Sometimes I would pay for the tickets and be like, just come, you know what I'm saying? But even giving their time is such a huge thing. If you know what I'm saying, if you have friends and you're able to support them, then please do. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's like an exchange of energy that is so important to have, especially out here, because it can get very lonely even when you have people around you. So that was a huge thing. And just when you have good people around you, they might have good people, and then y'all just collectively come together. And that's kind of how the crew for No More Comics in LA came together, because I met Tristan, and I met Dom, and of course I knew Rashonda from college, but I met them in Savannah, and then once we moved out here to LA, that's when we met the rest of the guys, and all of us came together. And more than just them, though, more than just the crew, people that went to school at SCAD, we had that network to be able to reach out to be like, hey, can we employ you to, you know what I'm saying, work with us on this project? You know what I'm saying? And some of them were like, well, I'll just volunteer my time. And some of them were like, well, I'll give you a discount. And then either way, it was like,
all right.
But the fact that you have a whole group of people that like, yo, looking around, we all have the pieces to make something great. Exactly. And I think that's what's interesting, that, you know, instead of everybody just focusing on where they work or what projects they're doing, the importance of making your own stuff. So like, why was that important to you?
It was very important to me because one of the biggest holdups I had about moving to LA was feeling like I was already behind the curve and feeling like, how am I gonna intercede into this industry? Yeah. How am I gonna convince someone to give me a chance? You know what I'm saying? Because I know what I'm capable of, but how do you show someone that you're capable? And so if initially comedy was that way for me. However, I know that I wanted to get into scripted acting, and it's like, if you don't have a manager, if you don't have an agent, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you find these people that'll put you in the rooms?
Like, you got to show that you have any skill for anybody to want to work with you.
Exactly.
But you got to have need relationships. People who work with you, to get positions and different things.
Exactly.
But backtracking real quick, what is No More Comics in LA for people who might not know?
No More Comics in LA is a show that was written by Rashonda and I. It's about basically me moving to Los Angeles and pursuing comedy. The premise of the show could change a little bit because we're doing rewrites right now, especially with things that happen, you know, in my personal life, getting roles, and just trying to take advantage of this opportunity to differentiate characters and really show my range. But No More Comics in LA is going to be our digital web series that we're going to shoot. We crowdfunded for it. So Kiara, Lev, and Sims, those are three other people that are a part of our crew. They came on board, and I don't know, it's like, it's awesome just to have people that believe in your vision, believe in your talent, believe in your ability. And I think it's huge to see Black men, brothers really embracing, you know, a Black woman and pushing me forward and propelling that and seeing that as a platform that needs to be told, you know. So they came on board, and we all got together and, you know, shot the first 3 episodes. Like I said, we're trying to redevelop things right now because it's been a long process. Like this, we've been doing this for about 2 years now. And, you know, some of our some of the cast has gotten other opportunities, or I've gotten
everybody still kind of lives like that freelancer life. So it's like you get a gig, it's like I kind of gotta. Exactly. It's hard to work with a big group of people. Huh?
Exactly. So when we were shooting, initially we shot the first 2 episodes. Rashonda and I paid for everything out of pocket. So that's when I had to, get that second job. And I was literally like working 2 jobs. And then on the weekends we were shooting No More Comics in LA. Lexi was in one of the episodes.
I sure was. I forgot about that. I was a whole receptionist.
Lex was a receptionist.
I got the glasses for it. Exactly.
I told you, every time my friends are doing something, I just like,
I'll
be there. Look,
you do be there. Lexi is a down ass friend for real. Like, I'm here to support. What you need?
Right.
You need an actress?
Got you. You need a business plan? What you need?
I know, got you.
But to go back to what you just said, though, that's an interesting point, and I'd like for you to talk about that. It's like, how much does it cost? Because now we're in an economy where people aren't waiting for like a call from some big movie or Netflix or whatever. It's like, so much content you can do just straight up on Instagram. So much content you can create to put up on YouTube. Issa Rae and how she started with Awkward Black Girl. And then you could tell as the episodes got better and better and more money was coming in. Now we have Insecure as a result of the success of that. Yep. So as there's lots of people who are trying to be like, shoot, I'll just film my own stuff. Can you give us an idea of like how much did that cost, or like what things did y'all have to think about and have together?
And kind of what does it look like? How long? Like when you're talking about shooting?
What kind of process?
Average, like what kind does it look like?
Yeah, you know what? It's kind of tough to give people a game plan on that because we were so blessed. Like equipment we got for free because we had a plug on that. We had people volunteering their time who are professionals in the industry who we would have had to pay maybe $500 to $1,000 a day. Or paying for sound, that could be $1,000 for the weekend. It could be. It's very expensive to professionally do something. Do something well.
But there's also people now that's shooting like cool ass stuff on their iPhone. So it's like work with what you have, I guess.
No, the biggest thing is to just produce content. For us, like I said, because it's a group of us, everybody kind of wanted to capitalize on whatever it is that they are. You know what I'm saying? So,
because
like
everybody
with Dom,
can use that credit.
Exactly. Like with Tristan being the director, Dom being the DP, or you know what I'm saying, or Sims being the director, or everybody wants to do it to the best of their ability, and so. We want to do a little bit better than a phone, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that.
And it looks so good too. We'll have to attach like the trailer on the episode online because just looking at it, it's like, this is fire shots, the way y'all put it together.
Exactly.
And even when I saw it was before Dom was talking about like color correcting all that. I'm like, it looked good to me, as somebody just watching it. So I'm like, because it looks so good, I thought this was interesting. And when you guys did your crowdfunding, y'all didn't have an episode.
No.
That's the funny part. Y'all still, after all that, y'all never got an episode. How much money did you raise?
So we raised $45,000 in contributions.
That's incredible.
Good God. I remember sharing it, but I didn't know what it was. She shared this. I was like, let me share it too.
So
which was good. Y'all did a good job with that marketing campaign.
Awesome. No, it was a great thing. And crowdfunding is it's a very tough.
It's a beast.
You gotta stand out.
Yeah, you gotta stand out because people don't be just willing to give up their money, which I understand.
But you know what I think happened too, and what's interesting and funny about how people operate. I think it got to a point because it did really well, and then it's like, okay, like where's it gonna go? Next as far as hitting the goal. But I think people start to support things when they got a fear of like, I might miss out on saying like I was there at the beginning before JoJo blow up. For real, I think that's part of what it is.
Yeah, and with crowdfunding, it's just the way it is. People, it starts off and then it plateaus, and then at the very end, that's when people come in for and help you out at the very end, and that's what we were just prepared to go through that. But I ain't gonna lie, like by the second week, I was like, oh, this is stressful. You know what I'm saying? Like we did it for like, I don't know, 40 days, I think, or something like that. And so we got $45,000 in contributions. So we use Seed and Spark. And the great thing about Seed and Spark is you can get contributions in other ways than monetary contributions.
Oh, dope.
So we had people in the industry donate their services.
Oh, that's cool.
People donating catering for, you know what I'm saying, the weekend and things of that nature.
People don't think about.
Stuff that matters a lot.
Exactly. Things like lighting, equipment. Wow. We had somebody donate equipment. So cool. It's all of that, all those contributions compiled ended up being $45,000 in contributions. And so... yeah, it's like, when we get started shooting, it's like we already got these people who've verbally or whatever committed to, helping us get this taken care of. So But yeah, the game plan has shifted a little bit since, right after the crowdfunding campaign. So
when people saw that, oh shoot, this is successful.
Yeah, so
do you feel like more people were looking at you then?
Oh yeah, so the crowdfunding campaign was huge because we basically we created these marketing boxes where I substitute teach. And that's something I fell into. Yeah, it's part of my hustle, one of my hustles, and it's very flexible. And so I took a couple of days off and would deliver these merchandise boxes to different executives at different production companies and stuff like that. And we were able to get one in the hands of a few people. And Lena Waithe was one of the people who was so important to, the campaign, because she... Lena is just rare. You know what I'm saying? Lena is incredibly rare, and she's amazing, and she puts on for you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so we gave her this hoodie. We gave her this hoodie right here, and she shouted us out, thanked us for the hoodie and stuff like that. She donated to the campaign, and
I said cool.
Yeah, and
that's
so
awesome.
Just from, like I said, she didn't even know me, didn't know us, you know what I'm saying? But just off the strength of just like, oh, look at these people.
That cosign is important.
Yeah,
like cosign society.
Exactly. And she saw us working hard. She saw that we had produced some things, and she saw that, you know what I'm saying, like we were making it happen, you know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, from that Uber ride, she cool with one of my friends, and they was cool, you know what I'm saying? And she probably was like, well, what's up with that? And Regina is working with us too on some of the stuff. So
that's so dope.
You know what I'm saying? I think that helped as well. But yeah, so she shouted that out, and we got random people when when strangers start to donate and stuff like that and hit you up. They started to donate, and then the ball just started rolling from there, and it was just like amazing. And then like Lena hit me up. She was like, "What you trying to do? You trying to write? You trying to act? You trying to do comedy?" I'm like, "I'm trying to do all of that." You know what I'm saying? Everything. But mainly, I really want to get into acting. And she was like, "All right, well, I got this show that I'm about to start casting for. It's called 20s. And I'm going to set up an audition for you. You know what I'm saying? You can go up in there and, I'll check you out." And I was like, all right.
Oh, so she wasn't giving it to you?
No. Okay. No. I had to audition. It was apparently a lot of people who auditioned because I actually did a comedy show right before I left for the holidays, and the host was like, I auditioned for that part when I got on stage. And I was like, oh, shit, you auditioned for that part too?
I think what's really dope is, like, y'all did get these, opportunities for strangers, and, like, you met the person fortuitously who was friends with Lena or whatever, but that y'all were doing the work before it happened. You weren't waiting.
People don't want to help you till they see you working.
They don't, like, the ideas are amazing and dreams, and, great person, talented, but until you doing the work, until they see your head down, like, you working hard, you working all these jobs.
Exactly.
Like, I think that's amazing.
Yeah, you got to do the work, and you got to push even when you don't see the results, and you got to believe. Exactly.
And when you get some results, you can't stop working.
Yeah, you got to go harder.
Exactly. That's even harder. Yeah, exactly.
So for this audition, how was the audition, like, going for it?
How did you feel like it went?
Yeah. I
love the process. I think once I realized that Lena wasn't just like thinking that I was just like like she, you know what I'm saying? She was like, she gave me a chance, but at first I thought it was like, oh, she must see me as this part, you know what I'm saying? Then I realized that no, she's just Lena Waithe, and she can get anybody audition for.
So it wasn't necessarily like she took you under her wing, like, I'm gonna be your mentor.
No,
it was like, well, here's the opportunity.
It was more it was like I'm gonna help you develop into the best whatever you want to be. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, here's a chance to audition. Whatever happens, happens. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Like, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And so it really, I had to really take the pressure off of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was my first, like, big audition. So I think, my ignorance of the process helped, because I didn't go into the situation jaded, you know what I'm saying? About like, I know a lot of people going to auditions, they're like, people don't talk in auditions. And I went in the audition, I was like, and I sat between these two girls that were waiting to do the same part as me. And I was like, bitch, I'm not about to sit here and be quiet. It was like, what's your name? You know what I'm saying?
Chop it up.
Yeah, we about to laugh and talk, you know what I'm saying? And we ended up laughing and talking and getting to know each other. And I think it just kind of, it helped my nerves, you know what I'm saying? Like, and
for sure.
I was like, she putting a ball in my hand. I'm about to shoot it. I'm about to make it. And you know what I'm saying? And so that was my mentality, was like, yeah, this is that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is that opportunity, and you can't mess it up right now. You know what I'm saying? And and I was reading the script, and it was so me. It was like, it felt so natural to memorize these lines. It felt so natural to speak it. It felt so natural to portray this character. And it was also something that was personally, you know what I'm saying, like, special to me, because I had never seen this type of character on television, you know what I'm saying? So I'm reading the script and I'm like, wow, like, this would be amazing, you know what I'm saying? To see put into fruition and happen. And so it's just like, I was excited, you know what I'm saying? And I just was like,
what happened?
So we did the first audition. It went great. I got to know the ladies who were casting me. They were really sweet, Junie and Libby. And I don't know, I just was me. I think the main thing that helped me was the comedy. I treated the situation like it was a room, and it was like nobody showed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like an open mic and it was dead. You know what I'm saying? Because it was literally like 2 people sitting in front of me, but it was like, I never got nervous. Like, it was weird. It was really weird. Like, I wasn't nervous the entire time. I went in there. We were laughing. We were joking. They literally pretty much let me get through a whole comedy set, because I was talking to them. They didn't realize I was telling them jokes, but I'm like, you know, having them laugh because I'm like telling them something that I've done on stage before, but it's in relation to this moment. You know what I'm saying? And it went great. It just the whole thing like went amazing. Like, I had 3 auditions, and
for the same part.
And it was just like one of those things where you kind of have like a calm over you that's like, God got you. You doing your best. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you've been, like you said, putting in the work. You know what I'm saying? Like, and really having the faith that, you know what I'm saying, like, the images or the visions that God has given me since I was a child, they're going to manifest, you know what I'm saying? And like, and it's just like, this is just a part of it, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so whatever happens, like, and what happened? And dun, dun, dun.
Look, I'm all nervous. Like, I don't know. What happened? Well,
3 auditions. And yeah, everything just happened quick. Like within like a month, I went from doing open mics and doing No More Comics in LA and stuff like that to now I gotta look for a lawyer. Now I gotta get a manager. Now I'm looking at contracts. Now I got the part. Yeah, basically.
Congratulations.
And, a lead part, right?
yeah, it's the lead. It's the main role. Yeah.
JoJo.